Okay, guys, here we are for video number 2. This video number 2 is going to be on the 10th Ascension Initiation. Something happened to me when I was at Shasta, and I haven't been able to put it all to words what I experienced this past week. The energies with me were really intense. When I got to Shasta with Kim, as we were flying in and we could see Shasta, we were flying into Medford, Oregon, and we could see Shasta out the left-hand window and Mount Lassie south of that. I could feel the energies. It was almost like there was a portal that was between Shasta and Mount Fuji, and it was almost like all this negativity, everything was all spinning in and going into that portal. And as we were flying into Medford, and we're probably still 100 miles out or so, I was really picking up on duality, heavy light, heavy dark, energies all spiraling in and merging. And I turned to Kim and I said, I think this is what's going on. It's sucking all the various timelines into the portal. And I started receiving the message at the time that we had to go around Mt Shasta, doing our vortex cleaning and re-energizing activations. Shasta, of course, is a planetary chakra point, the crown chakra, they say. And that we didn't really have to activate it, but by cleansing it of the old emotional trauma of things that have happened there, of clear-cutting forest, of the chemtrails, which the whole northwest side of Shasta, all the firs and the junipers and the alders, all the trees are dead. That's on the whole northwest side. And the road there is, the clay is powdered because of all the aluminum and other different chemicals that's in the chemtrails. And it all lands, that's where the winds come in from the coastal area. And it lands on that northwest side, and it has changed the pH within the soil and is killing the northwest side of that mountain. As we were coming into Shasta, or as we were coming into Medford, I told Kim that I felt all the energies, both positive and negative, being sucked into that area. And as our plane landed, something really strange happened. And that airport that is at Medford is sitting on a very strong vortex. And we were cleaning and activating that one, but as soon as our plane landed, they couldn't get the door open to this big jet aircraft. And so they had to take this ladder, the crew ladder that goes to the side of the aircraft that allows them to bring in new drinks and do any cleanup and stuff like that, separate from being part of the airport terminal. And they ought to change the name terminal. Terminal and airport don't sound good together. But anyway, they couldn't get the door open, and they had to have the crew come in. And with the crew, it took about 10-15 minutes to get the door open so we could get off the plane. And so we got off the plane, and boy, could I feel the energies. Some really strange things happened there, and I'll talk about that in the next video. We were activating the vortexes that were there in Medford, and we had to be there for a while that day and then drive around. And as you drive around, as you drive over it in the first place, you can feel that there's a vortex there, but you really know what you've done when you make a loop and drive over the same place again, and you feel the intensity of the power. It's many hundreds of times more powerful than it was when you first crossed over it. And the more chakra activated, the more enlightened you are, the more of an effect you have on those vortexes. And that's my favorite type of work, is to clean and re-energize and reactivate, re-up the vortexes. Because when I come back into them, it does the same thing to me. It's a hand-in-hand effect. I go through, help allow the old negativities to get released and allow the energy to flow, because that's what it's doing. You release the negativities that are in the conduit. It's almost like a resistance that's in the conduit. And then the energies from the magma chamber below that vortex of crystals or metals or whatever's in the vortex, silicates, whatever's causing the conductor, that allows that energy to flow from negative ground, which is the magma of Mother Earth, and the positive ether, which is between the sun and Earth's atmosphere. And that's just like how electricity works. It's the same thing with the vortexes. But anyway, what happened is as we went through Shasta, and then we came back and we missed our flight. We were sitting in the Medford Airport trying to depart and come back to Phoenix, Kim going back to where she was. That place really, really, really lit up, and I was having a hard time. Actually, my 10th initiation began during the Venus transit, right in the middle of ceremony at the StarKnowledge Conference gathering. And there's 100 people dancing around. There's about 10 or 20 of us holding the energies, and then I'm envisioning New Earth and the universe and the shift that we're getting ready to go through, and I'm holding the vision as we are doing the Venus transit. And right then I activated into my 10th Ascension Initiation. And the 7th is when, well, let me back up. The 5th, you activate your heart chakra. The 6th Ascension Initiation, you activate the 7 original chakras, and then you take the 7 higher downloads and you activate the Ascension chakra. So there's 49 chakra initiations, or higher chakra downloads, or expansions of light, I guess you would say. It's all just expanding your light body. And then the Ascension chakra. So in that 6th initiation, between the 6th initiation of the activation of the original 7 chakras and the 7th initiation, you've got 49, really 50 steps that are in there. And you got to do them all before you can get to the next one. The 7th initiation is taking all those chakras that are at 90 degrees, Giant Chakra, your life cord, turning them vertical, and you're expanding your light body out to here, and you form your Ascension column. The 8th Ascension Initiation goes from the root chakra down and around the top of your head. It's like a big bubble of light. The 9th I called a body star, because that bubble of light expanded and it went below my feet, above my head, and it was very easy to perceive the intensity of the light within that bubble. But what I didn't realize, and Suzanne Spooner really hit it on the head with her last post about coming out of the cocoon, that is exactly what was going on with that body star I was describing. It was like a cocoon, and there were chakras, like the 7 original, that are all attuned to the various chakras internal of the body. And it was like they're dimensionally attuned. Of course, they have colors of light and rays that are associated with them, just like they're associated with chakras on the inside of the body. But what was going on was it was like a big fuel bladder that was filling the internal body that Bill Ballard, my earth suit, bodysuit, it was filling it with light. And what occurred is, before I could individually still feel the chakras, major chakras and minor chakras, and I could still discern those. But what happened and something that was so strange. It's wild as when you very first activate your heart chakra, or you move your consciousness from your head to your heart, and the extremes of that difference between what you were and who you had become was just that much with me with this initiation. The whole inside of my body turned into one giant chakra. And I'm not talking just within that center pillar of light. That center pillar of light, yes, it was like a supercharged column, but even in my fingers, even in my toes, it feels like it's all part of the same one chakra and trying to beam out. On the inside of my torso, it feels like the light is trying to push out and trying to get out of the rib cage, trying to get out of the skin. And that's what it feels like within the bones and within my fingers and toes and legs. It's like there's light trying to push its way out. And it's like I'm getting ready to molt like a snake, just peel it off. I don't know how to describe it more than that. It is a very, very wild sensation. The intensity of the light and the vibration levels, generally I'm used to, as we come into a full moon or a new moon or some type of eclipse or a solar flare, you step up a half note or step up a note. And then as we do an 1111 gate activation and we raise the frequency of the planet, then you step up one note into a higher octave. It's a different range of frequency. And what happened here was almost like stepping up 2 full octaves, not by the notes, but by the octaves. And this last week was so intense for what I was experiencing. I couldn't do the videos. I was having a hard time staying inside this body. I was having a very difficult time being inside an earth suit. And something that happened to me as we were leaving Shasta, for those of you that have been following me, or that have known me all my life, they knew that before 2009, I was a spiritual warrior as far as a physical warrior. As far as HARP or anything that's going on with the Illuminati, I would focus my intent, focus my key, my power, and and was playing spiritual warfare, I know that I have the ability to disarm electronics. I have the ability to disrupt communications. I have the ability to see what they're doing. And by the way, August 11th, 2012, don't go to the Olympic Stadium. I hope we can change this, but they're setting up for another sacrifice. Anyway, that's a whole nother subject. I think we can bypass that. But what happened to me is we stepped up so much frequency then that it was a difficult thing to handle within this physical being. And anytime we do this, we go within, and all the negativity, all of our identification with our older selves, it gets released. And it took me a while to figure out what was going on. And Suzanne Spooner, thank you so much, because what you posted about coming out of the cocoon, that was it. I couldn't put words to it. It's like, I'm trying to feel and to understand and to describe something that's not been discussed. Joel Kuhl, when he was given his Alice Bailey channelings, took the Ascension Initiations to one level. And then in the 1990s, there were other people that were describing it, like Joshua Stone, and they took it up to the 7th initiation, but I don't think that they might have obtained it at that time, but I don't know. Now we are going to places that have never been gone to before. Of course, the phone rings right then. We're hitting levels that are way beyond, And I'm coming up on the last 15 seconds of this video too. So we'll end it with that. That's the 10th Ascension Initiation. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.